Right away to a 10 News alert we are staying on top of. A gunman opened fire at a gaming tournament in Jacksonville today. The Jacksonville Sheriff's Office hasn't given much detail about this, but here's what we know so far. There were several victims. Some have died. Officers say the shooter is dead and say he operated alone. SWAT officers swept the building and cleared the scene. Again, there are no other suspects. This all happened in downtown Jacksonville at the Jacksonville Landing. That's an open-air shopping and restaurant center right on the St. Johns River. It's right beside the Main Street Bridge along Jacksonville's Riverwalk. People were gathering for the Madden 19 Southeastern Qualifier Tournament at a gaming bar inside the Chicago Pizza restaurant. Our sister station has been on top of this story, and we have our own crew on the way to the scene. The Jacksonville Sheriff's Office says some media organizations are reporting the number of victims incorrectly. What we know for sure from hospital officials at UF Health is that they are treating 6 patients right now. 5 of those patients are in good condition. 1 is in serious condition. Tournament organizers were live streaming this event. In that video, which we are choosing not to show out of respect for the victims, you can hear the gunshots and people screaming for help. Officers say they are aware of that video and are asking anyone with any other videos or information to reach out to the Sheriff's Office. Here's what the Sheriff's Office is saying right now.
We've got a very large crime scene downtown, a very large perimeter on this crime scene, and we will divert you away from that, obviously. So we will talk about a operation to try to get families information as quickly as we can. Again, this information today, right now, I wanted to get out that we have no outstanding suspects. We have the scene secure, and we will follow up in a couple hours with more information.
I've been scouring social media where most of that information has been coming in about the shooting. Some witnesses are sharing their stories while many others are sharing their condolences. I spoke with the man who did not want to identify himself but wanted to share what happened. Here's what he said.
I was hearing more and more gunshots, and I was just thinking in my head at that time, like, I'm trapped. Like, this might be the last time I see it, like, be alive. Like, I don't know what to do. I don't know if I should go out. I don't know what to do. Like, I was just panicking. Like, I was just scared for my life. And well, it calmed. Like, everything stopped. Like, about 5 minutes later, like, it stopped, and I just heard people just yelling, screaming, "I got shot. I need help," crying. And when that happened, I peeked. I opened the door a little bit just to make sure, like, the shooter ain't around. And when that happened, I just panicked. Like, I just went through like, I just ran. Like, I didn't want to look nowhere because I don't know. I looked towards the, like, when I was running, like, in the corner of my eye, I saw like 6 bodies on the floor.
Another gamer at the tournament shared his story on Twitter, and it's just heartbreaking. 19-year-old Drini Joka posted several tweets. Here's what he said. Around 1:20, he tweeted, quote, "Won my first elimination game off to round of 32. Nearly 15 minutes later, he tweeted this, saying, "The tourney just got shot up. I'm leaving and never coming back." Then he writes this, "I am literally so lucky. The bullet hit my thumb." He later writes, "Worst day of my life. I will never take anything for granted ever again. Life can be cut short in a second. If I hadn't said it before, I'll say it again. I love all of you guys." Governor Rick Scott also tweeted saying he spoke with President Trump about the shooting, and he offered any federal resources needed to respond. He says the Florida Department of Law Enforcement and the Florida Highway Patrol are currently assisting local law enforcement.
This has been a rough few days for the city of Jacksonville. Just 2 days ago, the city was dealing with another shooting at a high school football game. 1 person was killed, 2 others were hurt. Deputies say 19-year-old Gerard James Adams was shot and killed. A 16-year-old girl and 17-year-old boy were also shot following a game between Rains and Lee high schools. Investigators say they believe the male victims were at the game together and that they were targeted by the shooter. They also say the 2 have ties to known criminal street gang members. Deputies are still looking for the suspect. There is a $3,000 reward on the line for any information about this shooting. And deputies in Palm Beach County are also looking for 2 suspects involved with a shooting at a high school football game there a week ago. Deputies say the 2 were also targeted. Meanwhile, both schools involved held their first football games since that shooting on Saturday. There was, of course, increased security and a much lower attendance. We're going to stay on top of the shooting in Jacksonville today. Now's a good time to download our free 10 News app. We will send you alerts as soon as we get them. For now, let's check in with meteorologist Rick Kirby, who's tracking showers in your forecast.
Yeah, you know, and some areas of heavy rain again as well, and that's typical this time of the year where you get those thunderstorms. There's usually enough moisture, enough humidity out there to bring pockets of heavy rain. Now, it's mostly light to moderate rain falling in downtown Tampa right now. You can see the wet roads here and some of the dark clouds. So there are some showers in downtown, and then we'll show you where the heavy rain is. Not as much lightning as this time yesterday, but still there is a lot of lightning out there, and that's another dangerous component to these storms. So we'll zoom in and show you the Tampa Bay area here, the immediate area. We've had some pockets of heavy rain push through parts of Pinellas County, and right now around Safety Harbor, Oldsmar, heading over to Clearwater. Look for a little area of heavy rain right there. You can see that right now. So the Courtney Campbell getting pounded with rain currently, making sure for some rough travel there. And then farther to the southeast down here, Waimama, Ruskin, this is all heading your way out of DeWitt here. Another area, very heavy rain and a lot of lightning there as well. Temperatures today did make it into the low 90s in many areas despite the showers and storms that developed this afternoon. We'll take a look at the week ahead and coming up.
Tributes from around the world are pouring in for Senator John McCain. He is being remembered as a war hero and political leader who dedicated his life to public service. McCain died Saturday in Arizona from brain cancer. He was 81 years old. Chris Martinez has the latest from Phoenix.
Well-wishers in Phoenix brought flags and other mementos to a makeshift memorial honoring Senator John McCain. Military veteran Dan Rivera felt compelled to pay his respects.
He was a man from the heart. He always told you what he thought. He was a great guy, and his family was up there too.
McCain passed away Saturday at his ranch outside Sedona. The decorated Vietnam veteran, former POW, and 6-term U.S. Senator is being remembered as a true American hero.
Decades from now, little children to ask their parents, who was John McCain? And they'll explain his sacrifice, his patriotism, and most of all, his fidelity to do the right thing.
McCain will lie in state here at the Arizona Capitol on Wednesday on what would have been his 82nd birthday. The governor tweeted, "John McCain is Arizona, and we will honor his life every way we can." McCain will also be remembered later this week in Washington, D.C. He'll lie in state at the Capitol, and there will be a ceremony at the National Cathedral. Former Vice President Joe Biden and former Presidents George W. Bush and Barack Obama are expected to speak. President Trump, who often clashed with McCain, tweeted his condolences. The president said, "My deepest sympathies and respect go out to the family of Senator John McCain. Our hearts and prayers are with you." McCain will be buried at the U.S. Naval Academy in Annapolis, Maryland. Chris Martinez, CBS News, Phoenix.
McCain was diagnosed with brain cancer last year. He continued to work in the Senate for several months, but in January, the illness forced him to stay in Arizona.
Remember this? You know, with Florida's primary right around the corner, the integrity of our election system is more important than ever. Just this week, a bill that would beef up our election security stalled and died in the Senate. Meanwhile, incumbent Senator Bill Nelson says the Russians are already in Florida's election records. Now, he's provided no evidence to back that statement up, and pretty much every election official in the state says he's wrong. But if you think this is a strictly partisan issue, think again.
But they'll do it again, and they'll be better at it.
Across the aisle, Senator Marco Rubio has called Florida's election officials overconfident, saying they don't fully understand the nature of the threat. The issue at hand, according to both senators, is not hackers changing the voting results. It's hackers messing with the voter rolls. Meaning you or I might go to our polling place on election day and hoping to vote, and they have no record of us being registered. And while Florida's voting machines in large part never get hooked up to the internet, our voter registration information is public record. My 100-year-old grandma can find it with a quick Google search. The only way we're really going to know if something's up is to cast our ballots and see what happens. So get out there, vote, get involved, take some ownership in our democracy. Because the easiest way for our enemies to win is if we stop caring and check out.
10 News is keeping an eye on politics with just days to go until the Florida primary. What you need to know before Tuesday's primary, next. If you're just tuning in, I want to bring you up to date to 10 News alert we have been staying on top of. A gunman opened fire at a gaming tournament in Jacksonville today. The Jacksonville Sheriff's Office hasn't given much detail, but here's what we know so far. There were several victims here. Some have died. Officers say the shooter is dead and say he operated alone. SWAT officers swept the building and cleared the scene. Again, there are no other suspects. This all happened in downtown Jacksonville at the Jacksonville Landing. We have a crew on the way to the scene right now. We don't know at this point much about that gunman, if he's from the state, if he was actually at this gaming tournament. But again, this is a good time to download our free 10 News app. We will send you alerts as soon as we get them. And now I'm joined with meteorologist Rick Kirby. You're tracking some showers in our area?
Yeah, you know, in areas of heavy rain again. So not everybody's seeing these, but where the storms have been, I mean, it's torrential rain, kind of like we saw yesterday, but not as widespread. Let's take a look at our numbers here. Our high temperature today, despite the afternoon rain, 94 officially out of Tampa International. So very warm today. And look at that. Out at the airport, at least, their rain gauge, absolutely nothing. Although there is some rain in the area right now. So the official climate when it comes in after midnight tonight will probably have a little rain in it. And it's dry right now at the marina in downtown St. Pete, the Mahaffey Theater camera. As you kind of look off to the east and southeast here, some dark clouds, and there is rain there and a little bit of rain falling right now in downtown Tampa. You can see the roads here looking a little bit wet right now. A thunderstorm being reported out at Tampa International. 78 the current temperature. The dew point 74, feels like 81. So a lot of humidity. Winds here out of the southwest currently, a little bit of a breeze, and there's the lightning out there right now. So not as much lightning as yesterday, but still, I mean, there is some here. And right now in southeastern Hillsborough County, you can see the lightning pass through Ruskin and more on the way right there. Safety Harbor, some lightning around right now. Thunderstorms pushing toward Clearwater currently, and there's that right there. Very heavy rain around the Courtney Campbell, and then as you head north to Oldsmar, getting some pretty good rain right now as well. And then there's this rain that's starting to push near Waimama and Ruskin, Riverview, Fishhawk, showers and thunderstorms in the area as well. So look out for that. It'll move through quickly, but as it does, it will bring at least some brief torrential rainfall and some lightning. Gusty winds can be expected as well. There are those temperatures, so this is rain cooled air. Look at that, 79 degrees and frost proof right now, but 91 in Lakeland, Brooksville 90, Polk City 90 as well. Tampa right now with that thunderstorm just 78 degrees, so that rain certainly cools you down. Seminole in the 70s, McDale Air Force Base just 77 degrees currently, and there are those dew points. Again, lots of juicy air out there. There's your planner, so the rain and storm chances really start to come to an end pretty quickly here this evening. So by 10 p.m. or so, that's winding down any rain and storm chance. And then overnight, we're mainly dry, partly cloudy skies, temperatures in the upper 70s. As we head through the evening hours tonight, you see that rain and storm chance still, especially along and west of 75. But 9, 10 o'clock, we start to clear that out, and then it looks again dry overnight. Tomorrow, dry to start. Tomorrow's rain and storm chance more isolated, so 20, maybe 30% storm chances, and they'll be late afternoon and toward the evening once again. There you see around 7 o'clock, some isolated showers and storms with the best chance here being depicted in our southern counties around Bradenton and Sarasota by our forecast model there. Hey, let's quickly catch you up on the red tide situation. You know, if you haven't heard this, we got new numbers on Friday, and now we have medium levels all the way up to Madeira Beach, so parts of Pinellas County seeing some higher levels of the red tide. Still no fish kills being reported in Pinellas County, so that's the upside to that. And as you go farther south, we continue to see very high levels across parts of Manatee and Sarasota counties, although no changes have been reported in the numbers there. And then farther south, again, it's high levels all the way down to Naples. There's your 7-day 92 tomorrow. That heat index around 100. It's a more isolated storm chance tomorrow. And then we'll up to scattered storm chances Tuesday and Wednesday. Chances of storms continue Thursday, Friday, and into the weekend.
10 News is keeping an eye on politics with just days to go until the Florida primary, now that early voting is coming to an end. Phil Buck is breaking down what you need to know.
Before we can even think about the November midterm election, we need to get through the Florida primaries. Mark your calendar for August 28th. That's when the polls will be open from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. If you want to skip the lines at the polls on Election Day, you can vote by mail, or you can cast your ballot in person during the early voting period. Florida is a closed primary state, which means you can only vote for candidates in the party you're registered with. If you're not a registered Republican or Democrat, you can still vote the primary. You just won't see some races on your ballot. If you're voting Republican, your main candidates for governor are Ron DeSantis and Adam Putnam. If you're voting Democrat, you have 5 main candidates in the mix: Philip Levine, Gwen Graham, Andrew Gillum, Chris King, and Jeff Green. And if you want to feel extra smart when you cast your ballot, you can learn more about the candidates and issues with the 10 News Eye on Politics online voter guide. From there, the vote is up to you.
Now, from your Suncoast Hyundai dealers, this is 10 Sports.
Hey, Kiko, you play for the team in the teal. Dolphins' Kiko Alonso accidentally goes to the Ravens sideline instead of the Dolphins. John Harbaugh gets a good laugh. Alonso, he's still confused. Blake Snell making opponents' heads spin. The ace firmly entrenched in the Cy Young conversation, but like the Rays' playoff chances, Snell a long shot. Cy Young frontrunner Chris Sale in the other dugout today, watching Snell mow down his Red Sox teammates en route to an 8th straight victory. Oh, break up the Rays! The emergence of Snell this season has catapulted the lefty into some impressive company, and to do what he did to this baseball team, the best one in the league. People need to recognize Snell. 6 innings, 2 hit ball, allowed 1 run while striking out 8. That is an ace. Snell lowering his ERA to 2.05 on the year. An abundance of run support. Kevin Kiermaier hitting just 200 this season, but finding his stroke. 10 hits the last 7 games, including this 2 RBI triple against his old teammate Nathan Eovaldi. Rays have found their catcher of the future, Michael Perez. The bat coming along. This scores 2 more. Rays win 9-1, sweep the Sox, and Kevin Cash expecting this to be the norm going forward.
We don't need to continue revisiting and talking about what we think we're capable of. So hopefully, winning a series against a really good team, let that be it. And I think that's the way the guys carry themselves. It's good to be excited about doing what we did this homestand, but good teams find ways to do this more often than not. And I think we're a good team. I know we're a good team, and we continue to trend that way.
Like the man to my right just said, this team is unreal. Rays' 8-game win streak, the longest active in the bigs, and closing in on the team record of 12 set back in 2004. This team isn't afraid to beat the best. Tampa, the first team in baseball to sweep Boston this year, and hard to believe, but this was the first homestand in franchise history with multiple series sweeps, 4 from the Royals, 3 from the Sox. Rays' streak impressive, but it's not this. Blue Jays' Kendrys Morales smacked a home run in his 7th straight game this afternoon against the Phils. That's a new Jays record. Morales 1 game off from the Major League record. He'll try to do so Monday in Baltimore. Midway through last season, Dirk Cutter admitted he was, quote, extremely concerned with the poor play of Vernon Hargreaves. Former first-round pick lost his starting corner position. Now, he's making a case to gain that back. Vernon Hargreaves having a really nice preseason, being pushed by rookie MJ Stewart, who is the favorite to win that starting job, but Hargreaves making his case. Not to mention versatility at the different corner positions. Much different tone from Cutter about Hargreaves since last season.
Vernon likes to be vocal on the field, which we encourage. I mean, communication is a good thing, and I think Vernon has come out there every day he's practiced and brought energy. Of course, he's playing 2 positions, and there's some competition involved there. I think he's risen to that level, and we're happy with where he's at right now.
And an update on first-round pick Vita Vea's calf injury. Dirk Cutter said he expects Vea to be on track for the opener against the Saints Week 1. Vea has been out since the start of training camp.
Thank you. So before we let you go, let's take a final look at weather.
Yes, because we have some areas of heavy rain right now, but that's really going to quickly push out of here. So by 9 or 10 o'clock, I think that's it for the night. We'll be mainly dry overnight and isolated storm chances tomorrow. So mainly dry for tomorrow, not as many widespread showers and storms.
And we are continuing to follow that Jacksonville shooting. Whatever updates we get, you'll get on your 10 News app. Remember, it's free. You can download it now. It's on our website, and we'll see you tonight at 11.